April to June is mango season in India. It is the time to gorge on the most prized variety of the juicy fruit, the Alfonso, also known as hapus. Available in India at about $10 per dozen, it is also one of the most expensive mangoes to eat.
It's an exotic fruit and not easily available. Given that this in the customer's mind, the person who's being gifted it, it becomes a very premium item. You know, the taste, the touch, the feel, the smell. So it's got all your senses covered as an item.
Fruit stalls at the Crawford Market in Mumbai are filled with mangoes throughout the season. India produces about 15 million tons of mangoes annually, roughly 40% of the global production, according to the Central Institute of Subtropical Horticulture. Mango exports from India to the US are likely to reach record levels in 2013, according to the official Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. Many Indians will eat mangoes for breakfast, lunch and dinner during its short season. In Mumbai, restaurants like Maharaja Bog put on mango festivals and street vendors sell freshly pressed mango juice. The city's many eateries serve mango-based curries, chutneys and other innovative foods. By the end of June, the monsoon rains start to fall, signalling the end of the mango season. Shipments of traditional Korean fermented pastes are found to have more than doubled in the past decade. Gochujang, which is a soy paste mixed with red peppers, saw the sharpest rise in exports. According to Korea Customs Service data, exports to gochujang last year posted $23 million, 3 times that of 10 years ago. Importing countries have also gone up from 39 to 71. Exports of soy sauce also grew 2.4-fold to $13 million last year. The Customs Service says shipments in the past were mainly to the USA, Japan and China, where many ethnic Koreans lived. Black-tailed gulls in the midst of their breeding season gather on small rocky Korean Dokdo islets. A baby gull stands at the edge of a cliff. Another rests in the bushes next to the road. It picks at its downy hair and waddles behind its mum. An eastern great egret searches for food in the rocks along the seashore. Some 160 bird species make this rocky islet their home. At the end of a grand vertical cave, a group of spindle trees in the shape of the Korean peninsula looks out to the sea. Sea chrysanthemums grow between the rocks and brave the high winds, and long, erect, sky-blue broom rapes have bloomed. These cute flowers are Korean bellflowers. Korean botanists have recently succeeded in mass breeding up to 3,000 individual stone crop plants. It is hard for plants to live on the Dokdo islets because of the fickle weather and shallow layers of topsoil. This is why scientists are eager to secure genetic resources. The National Institute of Biological Resources plans to obtain all plant seeds before the year is out. Korea is working hard to safeguard its biological sovereignty over the Dokdo islets. Pakistan authorities on Wednesday set tons of prohibited narcotics on fire to mark World Drug Day. 121 tons of drugs were burned in various places across the country to raise awareness. The drugs included heroin, cannabis and opium and were collected over the last few months. Government officials and representatives from non-governmental organizations were present at the drug-burning events. Pakistani officials say about 70% of Afghanistan's drugs are smuggled through Pakistan and Iran, while the rest goes north through Central Asia. Afghanistan is the world's top producer of opium, from which heroin is made and which helps fund the Taliban's insurgency, and is heading for a near record this year, according to the UNODC. College and high school students in Tokyo marked World Refugee Day by staging a fashion fair to show their support for refugees from overseas. June 20th is United Nations World Refugee Day. A group of students organized the event. A refugee from Myanmar took part as a nail beautician. The models walked the runway wearing the traditional outfits of countries such as Afghanistan and Myanmar. The theme color was blue, a symbol of peace. An official from the UN Refugee Agency UNHCR described the scale of the problem. He said more than 45 million people have been displaced by conflicts or violence. More than 2,500 people applied for refugee status last year in Japan, which is a record number, but only 18 were accepted. The US and Canada accept about 40 to 50% of the applicants. One visitor said she had become more aware of the refugee issue. An art fair has opened in Tokyo, exhibiting hundreds of Japanese traditional woodblock prints. Local museum head Fumio Saito from Kawasaki City is showing his private collection of about 500 traditional ukiyo-e pictures. The 12 series of prints show women making silk thread together. Some of the works are being shown to the public for the first time, and it is rare that all the print pieces are being exhibited together. The fair has divided ukiyo-e prints into 3 groups and is exhibiting each group separately. The ukiyo-e exhibition will run through September 8th. Japan's Nuclear Regulation Authority has unveiled its new Emergency Response Center to be used as headquarters in the event of a future disaster. The new center is 3 times the size of the old one. 200 people can work in the office during an emergency. They can monitor operations and radiation levels in and around nuclear plants across the country. A teleconference system will link them with command centers at nuclear facilities, local governments, and the Prime Minister's office. During the disaster in 2011, the former regulator failed to accurately convey the condition of the Fukushima plant. They could not immediately reach the Prime Minister's office. Shuichi Kaneko from the Nuclear Regulation Authority said efforts to share information were chaotic. He said the new system should enable a smoother response when accidents occur. 3 astronauts who completed China's longest manned space mission returned to Earth safely Wednesday morning, marking another step forward towards the country's goal of building a permanent manned space station by 2020. The re-entry module of Shenzhou 10 landed safely on a sunlit prairie in North China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region at about 8:07 Wednesday. All 3 astronauts were in good physical condition. Ni Haisheng, commander of the Shenzhou 10 crew and a second-time space traveler, was the first to emerge out of the bowl-like module, followed by Wang Yaping, the only female astronaut of the mission, and Zhang Xiaoguan. During a brief ceremony held at the landing area, the astronauts waved merrily to a crowd composed of military officers, the search and recovery team, and health personnel. The Shenzhou 10 is China's first application-oriented spaceflight. Compared with Shenzhou 9's mission last year, the Shenzhou 10 is no longer experimental but considered an applicable shuttle system for transporting astronauts and supplies to orbiting modules. The mission aims to further test technologies designed for docking and supporting astronauts' stay in space, as well as to use new technologies related to the construction of a space station. In its 15-day journey in space, Shenzhou 10 docked with the orbiting space lab Tiangong-1 twice, once through automatic operation and the other manual. The astronauts spent 12 days in Tiangong-1, where they conducted space medical experiments, technical tests, and delivered a lecture to students on Earth about basic physics principles. Tiangong-1 Space Lab has been in orbit for more than 600 days. It is designed to function for 2 years. The module is considered the first step in building a permanent space station in the future. Since its first manned space mission in 2003, China has sent 10 astronauts and 6 spacecrafts into space. Iran's oil minister Rostam Qasemi says new petrochemical hubs will be created in Lavan Island in the Persian Gulf and Chabaha region in the southeastern province of Sistan and Baluchistan. Speaking to a group of officials in a ceremony marking the inauguration of 14 projects in Lavan Island refinery, the minister reminded that Lavan hosts Iran's big gas and oil fields and underlined that Iranian companies will turn the island into a major petrochemical hub. As the Iranian New Year, or Nowruz, approaches, many Tehran residents are heading to the slopes for the holiday. It's the ski resort of Dizin, 60 miles north of the Iranian capital Tehran. Despite its proximity to Tehran, Dizin has more in common with Western ski resorts than you might think. The fashion is stylish, and many of the skiers are young middle-class urbanites, escaping the routine and the restrictions of the city. Long locks flow freely here and make up adorned faces of the young women, who are freer to express themselves through their appearance. Iran has strict dress codes for women who must cover their hair. Imported skiing gear, suits and equipment are more expensive than ever after the country's currency, the rial, has continued to plummet in the recent months. Because of the high altitude, ski season in Dizin lasts longer than European resorts. There are ski lifts as high as 3,600 meters above sea level, which makes it one of the 40 highest ski resorts in the world. An expensive four-star hotel and dozens of villas provide accommodation for those who want to experience serenity and peace deep in the hearts of Alborz Mountains. If you have been paying a fortune for your organic salad, this is good news. Hydroponic vegetables are now available in Hong Kong, and they cost much less than imported ones. Nurtured indoors, away from pollution and free of chemicals, these are hydroponic vegetables grown at a warehouse in Chung Sha Wan. The iVeggie program is run jointly by the Hong Kong government's Vegetable Marketing Organization and the Agriculture, Fisheries and Conservation Department, or AFCD. Chan Siu Lun of the AFCD explains that cleanliness is a main feature of hydroponic vegetables. They absorb nutrients directly from the water. So unlike soil-grown vegetables, they are not attacked by pests or germs which often damage or kill the plants. As a result, the vegetables grow much faster than normal. The catch, though, is the cost. Lettuce, rockets and cabbages are sold at about 200 Hong Kong dollars per kilogram, quite a bit more than what you would pay in a wet market. Still, that's half the price of imported organic salad greens. Right now, these vegetables are sold mainly to upmarket restaurants and some supermarkets.